Now, most parents worry at some time or another about where their child is. Now, new technology will enable them to keep track of their offspring via their mobile phones.
But there are some drawbacks to the new parental eye. For a start, the child won't know when their whereabouts are being monitored and may regard it as some form of snooping, and the parents can only locate the phone, not the child. On top of that, the systems only work when the phone is switched on and has network coverage.
Well, with us to discuss the pros and the cons, Richard Jelbert, founder of the new system called KidsOK, which is launched today. And joining us from Brighton is John Carr, Internet Safety Advisor for children's charity NCH. John, we'll be to you in a moment's time, but let's start with Richard in the studio, Richard Jelbert. In principle, this is a very good idea, but tell us exactly how it works.
Well, first of all, we register the parents through a security based registration process, and we check the details that we're given to make sure that they are correct. We also send a letter to the registered address so we can validate the address as well. So we have a pretty good idea that the person registering on the service is actually who they say they are. We then send messages out to the children's phones to say that something like Richard Jelbert on, and then the mobile number wishes to locate you, please respond with a text message. So the child has to respond positively to opt into the service. So once all that's out of the way and that's all set up, the parent simply sends a text message into our service. About 60 seconds later, a map will arrive on their phone if they have a picture messaging phone, or a text message will arrive if they haven't, showing the approximate location of the phone.
You said you had a pretty good idea about those that are trying to locate the child. That's the key point, isn't it? It's a system that is open to abuse, and certainly with the anxiety that paedophiles might take advantage of that. Well,
I wouldn't say that it's open to abuse. The checks that we've done have been approved by the Association of Chief Police Officers. They've looked at the code of practice that we all have to adhere to, and KidsOK is an active part of the steering group that creates the guidelines for the industry. So, you know, we feel we've gone as far as we can with the existing technology and databases that are available in terms of validating people's identities.
John Carr, anything that makes children safer is surely a good thing?
Absolutely, and I can imagine certain circumstances where this service will be extremely wonderful and very, very helpful to parents, but I'm not sure how useful it is as an ongoing part of family life. I mean, if the phone is turned on, and it needs to be for this system to work properly, why not ring your child up and speak to them? You know, we want parents and children to be communicating, not monitoring where each other is by this kind of remote technology.
So do you feel that it undermines a relationship of trust then between parent and child?
Well, that's another of the really important points about this. Once the child is on the system, they will not know when their parent is going to be checking up on them. And, you know, what does that do for trust and confidence between mum and dad? So again, we've got worries about that aspect of it too. And the other point, if I might just quickly make it, is knowing where your child is, or knowing where their mobile phone is definitely not the same as knowing that your child is safe. The only way you can know if your child is safe is by speaking to them and asking them and confirming that with them. Richard
Jelbert, would you like to respond to those points?
Yes, I would. I mean, in terms of the trust issue, I think what we'll see here is that because the children have to opt into the service, they have to trust their parents. So it's almost a demonstration of trust between the parent and child. So that opt-in aspect does get around a lot of the issues there. And you know, people said about text messaging when it first came out that it would never take off because you could just pick the phone up and you know, and make a call. And of course, text messaging now is a very important part of children's lives, particularly. So, you know, I think what will happen is we see KidsOK being used as quite a casual location service, just to be used as one of many tools that parents can use to keep a tab on their children, phoning, texting, and also what we call pinging. You know, where you get the location, perhaps they're on a train or on a car journey. So.
All right. And one final word from John Carr. Anything that you think could be done to this system that would improve it?
Well, we hope as time goes by that the verification systems will improve. The mobile phone companies and the location suppliers have done the best they can, but we still want to see better systems so that there's a higher level of certainty that the person who is actually using this service is in fact the child's parent.
All right, John Carr from Brighton, thank you very much. And Richard Jelbert from KidsOK in the studio, thank you.
Be very interesting to know what our viewers think about that.
Absolutely, yeah. Do email us on that subject.
Yeah, use your phones to get in touch with us. Well, you can text us. We'll give out the numbers in a moment or two. Now, it's 6:43. You're watching Breakfast from BBC News. Here are the main stories this morning.